This is when live just started to pop, and we used to do little, little segments on recorded.
Yes,
But
we were
this is
recording.
when live started to really pop, and we went. The first episode was tough, but we did it.
Yeah.
It was good. We got up. We had to get the kids ready. I had to get the sermon together.
We gotta get the lighting ready. I'm so
Lighting
big on the
ready.
lighting, y'all. I'm so big on the light. That light have to hit you right. You're on TV now. Just gotta get you right.
I did not know if this was gonna happen till we just started. We start with a word, and as we just started, with the word, revelation just started coming, and people started listening, and I knew God gave it to me because it's not like we just started preaching on empowerment or go after your dreams or success. It's about marriage. And, I did a lot of research on marriage, and as we know, marriage is not the way it used to be. It's not the most easiest thing to talk about. But people were receptive of it, and we did a lot of ministering to people while they're in marriage. And God just ordained us for that. We're not perfect. We ain't been married 20 years or anything like that. We just got revelation, and some of the things that me and my wife do that we would never knew like really meant anything paid off during those rough and tough times, those tribulations. And we just looked at it like during times when people would usually get farther away from each other, we got closer. So, God gave us that revelation, and that's our purpose, man. It's marriage. Marriage ministry, seeing marriages and seeing the benefits for younger people like them to look at marriage in the right light. Because there's some blessings, and it's beneficial to a man to find that wife.
Amen,
baby. You did that. He did that. Yes, he did.
And when you think about it, in this day and age where there's so much divorce, especially in, the Christian households where people tend to try and say that, as a Christian, you should be making your marriage work. Why are you all having a higher divorce rate? But I think it's really important to really show people that marriage matters.
Yes.
Marriage, as you guys said earlier, marriage is dope.
Marriage is dope.
You can be living in marriage and have a good time and enjoy your spouse. And it doesn't have to be always, something that's kind of old, like the old people say, you just get married, have kids, and next thing you know, you're going to work, and then before you know it, you're dead. You want to be able to live and enjoy life in between time. You can still have children and still keep it hot, still keep it fresh, still keep it sexy.
I'm telling you, that's the life. That's the life, and that's why I'm pushing the marriage is dope movement. Because marriage is dope. Marriage is the place to be. You want to be married. You want to be in a situation where somebody always has your back. You want to be having fun. You want somebody to financially support you and emotionally support you and spiritually support you. You don't want to be going through life without anyone. Nobody really wants that. We settle for that along the way, especially brown and black women. We have settled for that.
There is this time where you can be single. There's nothing wrong with being single.
There's nothing wrong with being single. Marriage is dope. Why?
Yes,
because two are always better than one. Okay, and then I want to be in a place where I have maximum amount of support to get to where I'm going. Because as a single woman, I was a businesswoman, I was a single mom, I was in school, I worked 60 hours a week. I was independent, doing it, whatever you want to call it. But I still was coming home tired at night. And I still had a gap. And so I know what it feels like to be doing it, but not feeling it. I know what it feels like to be successful, but still feel like you're not satisfied. And that's why I want young people and old people alike, but really this new generation, millennials, Generation Y, to really understand how amazing marriage really is. Because the thing that you're missing is the true connection that God really had in place for you. And this society has tried to draw us away from that and make us feel like, you can do it on your own and you're good. No, you're doing it on your own because you have to. But when you get to that place where you meet that mate, it's time to connect so that the dope life can really come to life. I'm telling you,
I would like to
marriage is dope. I'm telling you, I believe it. I'm 100% assured.
I would like to piggyback with brown and black.
Because I've been on the other side. What did Ben Taker said? He said, I've been broke and I've been rich. I know both sides, and I like being rich. It's okay. I've been single and doing it, and fly and saved and sexy and all of that, and I've been married. Marriage is dope. I will never be single another day of my life. I love my life. It's a good life.
I want to piggyback off of being brown. That's one of the, see, I do a lot of research on the African American community.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why the African American community has a harder time thriving is that, because remember the Bible says the men that seek the wife find for good thing and obtain favor from the Lord. And me working at LA Fitness, I'm a general manager. I work with all different races all day long. And I know this is a trend. I noticed that no matter what, the Asian man, gets his degree or does what he has to do, and he finds a wife. And he accumulates a house. I know that the Caucasian man, no matter what, finds a wife. That is just something that's trending in culture. The Indian man, all those races, but there's one race that always tries to do it on their own. So that favor that, especially the African American man, because it's already hard being an African American man as it is. The African American man is independent and the woman is independent. Now, of course, we have been through things. There are reasons why we don't get married quicker. It's always, life is designed to keep us separated. It's like that's in slavery days. But the African American man, they're missing that favor. Because wifey and wife, God honors without the wife. Not saying a single African American man can't do his thing, but there's certain things like mortgages and loans and advancement that the image of marriage helps out. Barack Obama wouldn't have been Barack Obama without Michelle.
That's right.
He was Barry without Michelle.
That's right.
That's right.
He was Barry, like how Barry. He was Barry. But he was Barack with Michelle.
Right.
So our goal is to get people to understand the blessings and the purpose in marriage. See, when you don't recognize the purpose in marriage, then it could be boring. It's not worth it. But when you recognize the purpose, that it's the love between Christ and the church, it's continuous grace, it's continuous forgiveness. Because that's what marriage is. Every day I got to wake up, I got to choose to forgive my wife. She got to choose to forgive me. I got to choose to, after work, be excited to see my wife and my family. There's purpose in that. Now, my kids get a chance to see a two-parent home. Because the statistics are, they're overwhelming for the African-American household. 72% of African-American women might never ever get married. That is overwhelming.
It is.
That is an overwhelming, I think it's 78% of African-American kids grow up in a single-parent household, and it might be higher. Because there's things a man learns from both parents, and there's things a woman learns from both parents. It can work with one parent, but my problem is when the intent is for it to be with one parent. Things happen in life. Nobody's saying nothing like that. You're single, you're mingle, you're doing your thing, but this independent woman and this independent man, that they are intentionally. So there's a problem there. It's one thing to not be able to find a man or find the right woman, and it's another thing to say, I'm good without it. I don't need it. So what do? They get the degree, they get their house, but there's still that bitterness that they never worked on. They probably grew up and they didn't see their dad, or they got heartbroken. It's the same thing with men. So 2 is better than 1. That's what the Bible says. It's not good for man to be alone. There is something that my wife does for me that I can't do by myself. I think it's a benefit to be able to be encouraged every day of your life. When I'm feeling down, my wife can encourage me. When she's feeling down, I can encourage her. But if I was single and intently wanted to be single, when I'm down, who's going to encourage me? Because men don't encourage men the way people think. I'm going to be honest with you. I've been married for like 4 years, going on 5, and I've been working at LA Fitness for 2 years. And believe me, men don't encourage men like that. They don't. They really don't.
And men need a woman's touch.
And men need a woman's touch. There's things that my wife does for me, and there's things that I do for her. So marriage is dope. Because it's dope to be in love and somebody love you honestly back.
Yeah, it is.
And that it's dope for a man to have God's favor. Favor's for life.
Amen. Yes, yes.
The Bible says you can drink wine with your wife. This is pre-approved. Which means God knows He wants you to have fun with your wife. That's when marriage becomes dope. Whatever you do, have fun. See the purpose. You become the light for other people. It's affluent when you're married.
Amen.
It's an influence.
Amen.
And we have to paint a better picture for the younger generation,
Yes,
especially
yes.
in the African American household. That's where I care about all lives matter.
Right.
But
Yes.
black lives are affected more than everybody. So
Yes.
we have to be honest.
Yeah, we need that foundation.
Yes.
We really do, and to me, that's what the marriage represents. Because with that foundation, you do have healthier kids that are growing up, that are in a two-parent household where their parents are getting along. That is that love and that compassion that when they're raised, they feel that, and then they, it's like, a domino effect. Once you have that, then you're going to continue to lead your household with the same kind of love and, the impact. And that's what we really want. It's impactful to be able to do that. You have more successful children when you have a two-parent household. So what does success bring for our community? It brings, a whole different mentality than what they see on us now. Right. See, right now, we're classified, as black people, as baby mamas and baby daddies. Exactly. We don't even say parents anymore. You know what I'm saying? In our culture. So that is what we're missing, and we have to take care of home. When that foundation is solid, it means so much. That's where your doctors come from. That's where your attorneys come from. That's where your dream seekers come from. You know what I mean? You feel like you can do the impossible. And again, not negating single parent. Listen, my mother raised me by herself, but that was not by choice. She got divorced very early, from my dad. I was 2 years old when they got divorced. So it affects you. And for a young girl not to have that male influence, it has affected relationships over the years and has had to have, a different dynamic even as a wife to my husband, because there's so much I had to learn that I was not taught from having an example of a good man. I thought men came a dime a dozen, to be honest with you. I thought they all lied. So, when you have these ideologies about who you think they are, that's all you're raised. And you talk about 72 and 7, I believe that wholeheartedly. I did not even know that black people married until I got to college. Wow. And I saw two-parent households, and a lady was talking one day. I assumed everybody had a single mom, And so she's talking one day, and she's like, my dad and my mom. I was like, your dad? He in the house? Wow. That's horrible. You don't feel that way, but that was a life I wasn't exposed to, so I didn't know that existed. So it is definitely important. And I want to say this, too, about you, too, and this has been from the beginning. Your love is infectious. Yeah. Like, it exudes everywhere you guys go. And that is so important when people see that, because it does give hope to marriages all over the world. Y'all keep doing what you're doing. It's definitely a blessing.
Thank you. I want to speak toward the children thing, because I can attest that my children are stronger, they're more firm, they're more... Their minds stretch and they think differently, just like what you're saying. Yes. Probably in ways we won't even be able to detect until they're older. Right. But that one has always been what Daryl calls an X factor. So my children have always been my X factor for a long time. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell a story that when we were dating, we actually broke up. We've only broke up once ever, and I'm believing that we'll only break up that one time. And we broke up on a Saturday night. Then Sunday we met up in church, and he was like begging, trying to get back with me. Y'all know how it goes. What do I have to do? What do you want for this relationship? What do you want from me? All this other stuff. And I just said, from my heart, I really meant this. I want someone to raise godly children with. Amen. Will you do that?
You didn't say that. You said, help me raise these kids.
Help me raise these kids.
You know what she meant. You know what she meant.
You know what I meant.
Trying to clean it up, make it holy. So help me raise these
Make
kids.
it holy. I am holy. By the righteousness of God, I'm holy. You're not going to take that away from me.
You got it. He said, help me raise these kids.
Help me raise these kids. that's what I want.
Amen.
And he has done that.
Amen.
And I believe that the children in this world, they need that.
Yes.
They need
Yes.
fathers.
They do.
Another reason why
Yes.
marriage is dope, because your children get to see life from a whole perspective. And I just, my heart always goes to the single woman,
Yeah.
because I've walked in your shoes longer than I've been married. So I know how you feel, and I know the different types of men that you've gone through. If you guys only knew the different types of men I had to get through to get to him. I mean, bananas. So I know the different stages of life when you're on your path, on your way to your husband. But I want to say to you, don't give up hope on marriage. Because just because it hasn't worked for anyone in your family, and there was a time in my life where I didn't know anybody that marriage had worked well for.
Yeah.
Yeah, those Haynes women.
And I love y'all family.
Those Haynes women.
But
Those
it's
Haynes
the
women.
truth.
Whoa.
There was a time.
Whoa.
There was a time.
Yeah.
There was a time I didn't know anybody that did it the way that I wanted in my heart, the way that I believed that God could give it to me. But I believed, and I continue to believe, and I didn't
Say that
give
word
up.
again.
Believe.
That's right.
I believe against all everything. Against people saying that it's not going to happen. Against people telling, oh Lord Jesus, y'all only knew. People who were telling me, oh yeah, girl, we going to see you get married one day. And going behind my back and telling other women, Angela's crazy. She thinks she's going to get married with all those kids. Oh my
She
God.
believed it, y'all.
Against everything. Kid after kid I had at a wedlock. Failed business, failed opportunity, job loss,
Grace.
lost my
Grace.
house, lost my
Grace.
car.
Grace.
Doesn't matter what I did. I
Grace.
said, I'm going to be married. And I used to look in the mirror and I tell the viewers on the morning news, I would say, I am a good thing. And I would just draw myself up, I do my hair. I'm like, I'm a good thing. I'm somebody's good thing.
Amen.
I am somebody's good thing.
you wanna
And I
tell
am,
women-
but I really believe
The
that.
same hope that you have in graduating from college and graduating and
Right.
getting that job and
Right.
making that 6 figures is the same faith it takes to believe that you will be married one day. It's the same. I tell men, the same. I talk to men. I tell them, the same work you put in to make $1 million or 6 figures, because all men want to be successful. So the same work. You didn't give up when you lost your job. You went to college, and if you didn't go to college, you worked hard. You submitted. You respected your boss. You handled that together. You invested time. You went to work when you were sleepy, tired, and you finally got promoted to become the GM, the CEO, whatever. It's the same work you put in your marriage.
That's right.
It's the same work.
Right.
Tired, sleepy,
That's right.
forgiveness,
That's right.
grace, love, making it work,
Wow.
speaking life. I watch so many men, they speak life over everything else. But then when it comes to their marriage, it's like,
Wow.
damn.
Right.
I'm like, how are you so confident you're going to make $100,000 a year, but your marriage is doomed? You know,
good.
the sister know she's going to graduate from Spelman. She's going to push a BMW.
Right.
The nails going to get done. She's
Yes.
going to buy the Louboutin.
Yes.
She's going to make 6 figures.
Mhm.
But you don't know if you'll ever meet a good man.
Wow.
So my wife believed. And the thing about it, us as people, we really need to believe God's purpose for our life, because we can't turn on entertainment. Entertainment shows the
Yes.
single black woman.
That's
It
right.
shows the
That's
black
right.
bitter woman.
Right.
But she's fly to death.
That's
She
true.
has her money.
Right.
She has her house.
Handbags,
Right.
But she
shoes,
never has the
makeup,
man.
fleece.
Entertainment show
Everything did.
shows the
Yes.
African American man, successful,
Right.
good looking,
Yeah.
Right.
but he's a dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if we turn on entertainment, that's all they're gonna see.
Yeah.
And they only show the show that they show
Or married to someone out in another culture.
in another culture.
It's never with
That is
us.
true.
Or they make us either lesbian or gay.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we're
Another
always
show.
the black men is down.
Right.
But there
We'll
is
talk
one
about another
show.
one. I got things to say about
There
that.
is one show where it's a
Oh,
successful
God.
black married family, but black people don't watch it. I said, what's the name of that show?
Blackish.
Blackish.
I love it.
Blackish, yeah.
Oh my God,
African
who
Americans
knows?
don't watch
Who
it.
knows?
You actually see a successful black
Yes,
African American
you do.
family, but they don't play it on the channel where African Americans watch,
That's true.
and they don't even play it at the time.
I'm telling
But we're
you.
focused on empire, we're focused on the
That's
house.
right.
Foolishness.
Yeah.
For if anybody watches that show, I advocate this show all the time. And I always hear this way, I just didn't like it. I saw it one time. You gotta watch that show. First of all,
They call it corny. They call it fake.
it is so smart.
It's not real. They say that's.
Well, I don't believe that it's not. I believe it's
It
very
is.
real. I believe it's very
Exactly.
real. I grew up like that, but I'm saying that I don't know. I just couldn't relate. But I know it's probably a good show.
It is
It's
an
a good
awesome
show.
show, and they bring up so many serious topics
Yeah.
that they deal with.
Yeah, that we
It's
When the
really
like-
way entertainment does it, they know you're not going to relate.
Exactly.
They go
That's
for
why
you
you
not to relate.
exactly.
So we won't watch
Well,
it.
the
There
fact
you
of the
go.
matter is, society sets us up to
That's
want
true.
to
To
see
die.
You're right. You're right.
That's right.
Okay.
They set you up to see
Okay.
all the reality shows.
Love and hip hop.
Each other down.
So-
Oh no, I don't want
Which
to.
is interesting.
But I know what you're saying. Yeah.
But that's all you're gonna see.
See, that's true,
Even
that's
if I
right.
do get a man, he's
Yeah.
gonna cheat.
You
You
know,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
that's right, dog, yeah.
The society, especially the African American, they
Yes.
never want the African American to be whole.
They don't.
That's true.
I'm
They
talking
don't.
about success,
Yes.
God,
Yes.
No drama.
family,
Yeah.
wife. No, that's why Barack Obama. It wasn't about the laws. That's not why God had him the president. He was hope.
Amen.
A black woman can't say that's not real.
That's right.
The black man can't say,
Say that it's
because I had a minister tell me one day, a man can never be successful and faithful. This was a minister, I ain't gonna never say his name.
Yes.
A minister.
A minister, a man of
A
God.
man of God.
Yes.
He told me, he told me that, you know, I hadn't made enough money yet to cheat. A black woman told my wife, older lady,
Listen, y'all.
she told her that I haven't made enough money
For
to
me
cheat.
to judge whether he's gonna be faithful to
For the
me or
rest
not.
of
I said,
your
the
Like
devil
as soon
has
as
a
he
loud
gets
mouth.
to,
Right,
like as
hello?
soon as I get to that level, but I'm like, I see people cheating the project.
Okay.
At the end of the day,
I'm
all
trying
money
to say, what's the
does.
level?
Right.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's not easy, but I do work in a gym.
Yes.
I work
Right,
in
women
LA
all the
Fitness, the
time,
most
right.
popular
Yeah.
gym in the world.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And there's temptation all the time.
Absolutely.
The way this thing works, guys, is value. And we wrote the book and we're going to talk
Amen.
about it. Value. Value in your spouse. Value your life. I look at my wife like I'm not all that without her.
Amen.
Hey.
And that's
Amen.
how a husband got to look at it. I'm not all that. Nowadays, you got, I talk to a couple men, they tell me, they say, well, you know, if we don't work, I'm good. And the woman to tell the man, if we don't work, I'm good.
No.
They come in independent, they're coming
Yeah,
into a marriage,
with
but they're
independent
still
viewpoint.
independent though.
That's right.
Right.
Okay,
Separate.
stop right there, because you know what, y'all off the chain, y'all. I love it. We're gonna take a break. We already passed the halfway mark.
Oh,
If you want to
God.
call in 770-415-2149, 770
Yes.
415-2149. We're gonna go. We're gonna play.
What's
We
your
rise.
We rise.
We Rise.
Amen.
Atlanta, We Rise. And we're going to go
Rise
check
up.
out his next song, his next single, We Rise. We'll be right back.
Okay, I'm gonna put into the comment box the phone number.
770. 415-2149.
Y'all call in 2149.
Yes.
Call in, y'all. Y'all know, I told them this morning, I said, y'all know us better than anybody. All our viewers, call in and tell people our business.
Awesome. Y'all are so good.
That's what Miss Irene said. She, like she saw it the first time. She didn't enjoy the first time, but now she can't miss it. They deal with important issues.
They do. I love it. I've loved it since they
Go
won.
watch it.
I have loved it.
But you know what? It's funny because society does make you, when you really have a good,
And it's very smart how they do that show.
Very smart.
Because baby, he be getting them white folks for real.
Yeah.
And he speaks for what we really feel, but he does it in such a non-combative, funny way. Exactly. But he sure get the messages slid right on in there.
That's how you gotta be. I
You
mean,
have to.
you can't be the angry black man. coming to
Exactly.
America.
Court, you know what? They make it
The TV going for them because they want to watch their little shows and stuff.
Right.
And your dads, they can watch something. You know? You ask them if you
Before you gonna start, you're like, okay, well, I won't.
I don't wanna watch it, right.
They were like, everybody want to do the Cosby Show. You know, they all want to.
Yeah, and I didn't even appreciate that show when it was around. I thought it was fake until I realized that it was real. You know.
Right.
But it's absolutely spot on, and I love like I said, what
No,
he
what
does,
is-
he
what-
gets
this
those
is
messages
Facebook
in
Yeah.
so that they know. And white people really respect
They
that.
love that show.
They watch it
love
more than
it.
anybody.
That's what I was gonna say. They love it.
But we don't
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Hey,
So they
so
download the,
as long as they can keep us down or divide us,
Yes.
yes.
that's it.
Because, well, nowadays, it's one of the few shows that you can tell your kids, hey, come in here and watch this with me. Because now, if you watch an Empire, there's certain scenes that are disgusting. You can't even, you can't even have your kids watch stuff anymore. And we were saying that there used to be a time where we did have some integrity about ourselves as a culture, and we would not have that kind of stuff. You know, now, it's like you gotta be like, hold on, let me watch this first to see if it's okay for you to watch it. It's sad. And even love scenes between men and women, it used to be left to your interpretation. Nobody want to see
If
that
you look at
mess.
all the white shows, no matter what, there's always a husband and wife, there's always some sort of success.
Yes.
Togetherness.
Right.
Even when they argue and fight, they come back together.
Right.
With us, they show all types, man. And that's,
They do.
For
We
them,
gotta get.
I'm trying to make no
How
eye
do you-
contact.
that's for him to realize, you know what, man, ain't nothing good out there.
Yeah. Yeah, because you'll have just like with the somebody was telling me.
Over here. Okay, that comes back.
Yes.
Yep.
There you go.
And we're back. You're listening to 108 Praise Radio. You're on with Hot Wife, Hot Life, and we have the fabulous duo, Daryl and P. Angela Jones here from the Morning Dew. And they are awesome. I'm telling you, I'm loving them, right? They just took over the show, and we ain't mad.
Thank you guys for letting us do our thing.
Yes.
I don't even know where we stopped out. We just gonna jump back in. How about that?
You said value.
Value.
Thank you.
Talk about
Value.
the book, baby. Talk about the
Okay,
book.
so we've been talking about what we're going through and everything. Let's talk about some points that you can do in your marriage that work. The first thing, God says, esteem the marriage, value it, and honor it. Esteem the marriage, esteem your spouse higher than yourselves. Honor the marriage bed. Honor the marriage bed. One of the greatest things that make a marriage work, no matter what, is the value and the honor that I have for my wife and I show her. Which means I'm not afraid to give her props. We argue and fight like anybody else. It's not the easiest thing in life. But I'm not afraid to affirm her and give her her props. Nowadays, a lot of men are afraid to affirm their wife or spouse because they're afraid that she's going to get too confident and start looking other ways. A lot of men have told me that.
Wow.
I affirm my wife. The more I affirm her, the stronger she'll be, the more she'll go forward, and it blesses me. I mean,
And you said, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, but men have said that because that is so funny.
Control.
To me, it's just the opposite.
Yeah.
If you esteem me, that makes me feel so wonderful. I only want to be for you. You know
his
what I'm saying?
confidence
Yeah.
is low. So the way to
That's
control
good.
you and to
I
keep
like
you
it.
is to tear you down.
Wow.
So you won't know if there's possibilities out there.
Wow.
But when you affirm and esteem your spouse, then she performs greater. The Bible says, husbands, love your wife.
Yes.
Wife, submit to the husband. She can't submit to me if I don't love her by esteeming her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Give her something to submit to.
That's good.
So,
That's good.
value, I place a value on my marriage, which comes to my integrity. When you place a value on something, it's a certain way you treat it.
Yes.
If you place a value on your car, you're gonna wash it, clean it.
Yes.
The wrong people can't get in it. You're gonna drive at a certain
Right.
speed limit so it doesn't get towed and taken away.
Yes.
You're gonna put money to the side so you can upgrade it, pay your insurance and everything. So that's how you gotta treat your marriage.
Amen.
You know, value. When you place value, she'll value you. The kids will. It's just a cycle of blessings in your life. It doesn't matter what you're going through. Me and my wife have went through some of the hardest times, but people couldn't tell, even when we told our story, because of the value we place. God honors that when you honor His order.
Absolutely. And we talked about in the book how marriage is an entity that appreciates, like a home. So the more you put into it, the more it's worth. And the less you put into it, the less it's worth. And you can always dip back down into that equity and pull back out what you need as long as you're putting forth energy into your entity, which is your marriage. So we look at marriage as something that appreciates. So we're always trying to put forth into it. I'm always trying to do extra for him. He's always trying to do extra for me, so that we can build up our institution, our marriage, so that when we need it, because there are times that you're going to need to dip down into your equity and get that second mortgage. You may have to do that. We have had to dip back down into our love bank and pull some things back out, but it was there.
Amen.
It was there when we had to dip back because we invested in it. Your marriage is an investment. Your love is an investment. He's not just a roommate. He's not just a bill payer.
Right.
I know women that are married to men that literally refer to their husband as their bill payer. So do you know that how that depreciates him on the inside? He may not ever say it. He may not ever show
He
it.
feels it.
But he feels it on the inside. You're depreciating your house. The Bible says that we build our house with our own hands, and we can also tear it down with our own hands. So you are responsible as a virtuous woman to build up your house. So I just made it my duty early on that I was going to build this thing up, and I was just going to intentionally put forth energy into appreciating what God gave me.
Honor the roles. We believe in honoring the roles. When it says Christ first, husband second, wife third, it does not mean women. It does not mean you're nothing.
No.
Husband and wife are created equal. It's just an order that God honors. And it's the wife submit to the husband and the husband submit to wives. It's not for a wife to be a slave or husbands to look at your wife as a slave or baby mama or whatever it is. Your wife is your instrument. And when the beat is marinated and flowing together, it makes beautiful music. And that just came to me. That was pretty good.
I love that. Put that in the song, baby. Hurry up and copyright that, baby. Hold on.
It's just, it's a good
But it's
thing.
true.
It's a good thing.
But I think that women, one thing that common single women think is that I don't want to be married because I don't want to submit, or I shouldn't have that. Something in me would like wiggle. Like I just couldn't accept that. And I used to say, but not the one that's going to be with me.
Amen.
And I just always wanted something that everybody else didn't have. And so I just encourage people to go against the status quo. Everybody in your circle may be saying men are dogs, all men cheat. Wait till your husband or your man gets to the top. He's going to do this, he's going to do that. You have to say, I'm not in that percentage. When Daryl started doing the statistics and started saying that 72% of black women will never get married, thank God I'm in the 22%. I automatically put myself in the group of people that are not going to be in the statistic or the stereotype. Because there is a certain group of people that are going to make it. You have to decide that I'm going to be in that group no matter what.
And you have to ask God for the man or the woman, because the Bible says wealth and house come from the father, but a prudent wife come from the Lord, which is an understanding wife. So if you're in a marriage and you're a Christian and you're going through it, the number one way that me and Piangela made it, and we continue to make it, is really keeping Christ first.
That's the only way.
Really believing that it cannot happen without God. Because without God, I wouldn't have made it. It would have been over. I'd have left maybe about today.
Be honest.
Marriage ain't easy, guys.
We are so honest.
Marriage is not easy.
We wouldn't have made it here if it wasn't for Christ.
So
We wouldn't have made it down 20.
you have to keep God first. You have to pray together.
Yes.
I don't care how hard the morning is. And with 4 kids, the mornings get hard. I rush to get on my hands. This is not a joke. I don't care about the night before. I rush to get on my hands and knees to pray. We rush. That is works together, because the Bible says when 2 are gathered in my name, they can ask for anything. Sometimes we just ask for peace.
Okay.
And peace comes.
Amen.
Before the material things.
Okay.
People come together, let me get a Benz. But the peace comes. The forgiveness comes. The joy comes. You gotta pray together to stay together. It's the truth. A praying wife and a praying husband, raising your children up, it just affects the whole marriage. We got to get back to keeping God first in our marriage. Being empowered is amazing.
Amen.
Yes, being empowered is amazing. Going after it is amazing. Never stop. We know you
Being
don't
bold,
stop.
yeah.
Being bold, go after it.
Right.
Okay, but let's get back to when we're in the marriage. To be empowering each other. To be together, to go out, finding the purpose. Our marriage is to bless other marriages.
Amen.
That's how we look at it. Christ and the church is love to show you his love. So our marriage shows you Christ's love because it's just constant forgiveness.
That's all it is.
So you'll
Thank
know who God is.
You took it out of my brain, baby.
That's all it
It's
is.
forgiveness. It's day after day,
Yes,
it's
yes,
forgiveness.
yes.
And love and trust and forgiving again
Doing it
and messing
again.
up
Doing it
and
again. That's
loving
right.
and forgiving.
Yes.
Forgiving the other person,
Yes.
forgiving the
Yes.
other people that hurt
Yeah.
you, just as a constant, because us in the kingdom is a constant state of forgiveness. We sin daily, but then we also are forgiven daily because of Christ's bloodshed. So that's what marriage is, and it's getting back to the purpose. Your marriage is not just for you and your kids, it's for somebody else.
Amen.
And you'll teach them to love and to be faithful to other things.
Right.
So it's just a blessing, and we're blessed to be here. And that's just the truth, guys. This ain't no magic potion. This ain't, we're not pretentious. We might get into an argument in the car, but best believe I'm a forgiver before I lay down.
Amen.
That's great.
Amen.
Oh, wow. We about out of time already. That hour goes by fast.
Yeah.
But they had a good time. Yeah, have a
Yes.
good
I hope our
conversation.
listeners got
Good
some
meat,
points.
right? Good meat
Good
bones,
meat.
right?
Good meat.
You ain't gotta spit out no fat on that one. That was all good meat.
Yes.
Take it to the young generation, man.
Yes. We
You
need
know?
more examples like you two.
Yes.
Those numbers need to
Awesome,
change.
awesome couple.
Definitely.
I see the love just radiating off of y'all. Y'all finish each other's sentences. Look at it. They just like ooey gooey.
I want to say one more thing. To the young African American, when you see people like Devon Franklin and Megan Good and Ciara, and because there are
Amen.
black
Couples,
Amen.
successful,
yeah, for couples.
stop thinking it's fake.
Right.
That's what I hear all the time.
Right.
That's fake.
No,
It's
stop
not
thinking
fake.
it's just celebrities.
Thank you.
It's real deal. It's real people out
For
here making
your
it
home.
work. Yes.
It's for your
So tell
home.
us how we can find you guys. I know we the morning do, but tell us where, how, everything.
Yes. So we are live on Facebook Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 a.m.
And if we're not live, we're going to do it the night before
and we'll post it. So we are connected to so many marriage blogs and marriage sites. You can find us almost anywhere if you hashtag The Morning Dew. So if you go to Facebook.com and type in hashtag The Morning Dew in the
How do you
search,
spell it?
THEMORNINGDO. D-O.
And you can follow us on Twitter, The Real Slim Diesel. Follow me on Facebook, The Real Slim Diesel. Google, Yahoo, everything is The Real Slim Diesel. Also,
I am on Instagram and I'm on Twitter as I Am Juxtapose, which is my music name, Juxapose. I Am Juxtapose. You can also find all of that, plus every single Morning Dew episode
YouTube.
on Facebook.com /Love, Passion, Faith.
What about YouTube?
And also on YouTube at The Morning Dew.
All right.
Awesome.
On the way, praise.
Yes, and just be
This
looking
was
forward
amazing.
to
The book,
Marriage is Dope.
A Man's Guide to a Godly Marriage with a Woman's Touch. We have finished it up. We're just going to get the editing together. That's going to be big. Man, we'll love to come back and be there.
We would
Go
love to
to
have
the-
that. Yeah,
That's going to be
definitely.
dope. It's going to be, it's because it's raw. It's raw. A lot of people tell me it's just for African Americans because it's so raw and gritty, but it's based on my experiences at LA Fitness, guys. I'm just being honest
And your
with you.
experience as an African American
And
man.
based on my experiences at LA Fitness, this guy gave me that book based on my
LA
experiences
Fitness Chronicles.
in that gym. Yeah, it goes down in the gym. It goes down in the
I hope you
gym.
got some waiver sign. I don't need nobody to come back talking about where my money.
Oh, man, it goes down in the gym, man. It goes down. So you know, we just thank you guys, man. We want to come back, talk about
Yes,
the book.
yes, yes,
you.
definitely.
Thank
When will it
you.
be out?
Well, I
Have a date?
can't.
Late spring.
Late
Okay.
spring. We want to get everything right and everything correct.
We'll have you back. We'll definitely have you back.
Okay.
Yes.
We've
Yes.
enjoyed y'all so much. The time goes so
Yes,
fast.
y'all
Yes.
have been amazing. I thank you all for coming on, blessing us with wisdom.
Yes.
And
Amen.
just a great opportunity to see what real love
Love
is.
looks like.
And for
Yes.
people to be able to see that it is possible
Yeah.
and to keep believing.
Amen.
And
right.
keep hoping.
That's right.
Don't
and
ever
keep
stop.
trusting. Yeah, don't ever stop.
Don't ever stop. It's
Amen.
possible.
So for
And you are
us,
worth it.
Yes.
You're worth
You're
it.
worth it. Yeah.
absolutely. And so for us, we do want to just give a shout out to our sponsor for tonight's show, Paparazzi Jewelry Consultant Stephanie Bill. You can find her on www.saveandslave.com. So of course, you know, we got these nice pieces around our neck.
Yes.
So if
Can you get it online?
Yes.
Yes.
I got the link.
She got the
Yes.
link.
Definitely support.
Absolutely. So definitely support her on that. And if you're looking for Hot Wife Hot Life, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at _Hot Wife Hot Life. On Facebook, it is Hot Wife Hot Life. And the website is www.hotwife-hotlife.com. So again, we are on 108 Praise Radio. We have had a phenomenal, awesome time. And definitely we will be downloading this so that you guys can see it, so you cannot miss a minute. So you need to go back and listen to it, go back and share it, because they have provided us with a blessing tonight
Yes, indeed.
when it comes to marriage. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. God bless. Have a good evening.
Good night.